joined today with Premiership player and coach, life member and captain of Williamstown's Team of the Century, Gerry Callahan. Thanks for joining us. As a five-time Premiership player, life member and captain of Williamstown's Team of the Century, you're a legend within our football club. What does the Williamstown Football Club mean to you?
Well, my association with the Williamstown Football Club has been possibly nearly 60 years, and I came down here as virtually a young fellow, and the club welcomed me and gave me the opportunity to be actively involved with them over a period of 17 years as a player, a captain and coach, and a non-playing coach. I was very fortunate to have a wonderful group of players around me because you don't have success just with your own ability. You've got to have people, and you've got to understand them, and they've got to understand you, and they've got to play for the club. And I played for, in my time, money was not a consideration. We played for the colours and for a cause. People may say nowadays, because we're money orientated, that we're foolish, that we could have got more money, and we could have by going to the country or going to a strong junior league. But I've had great enjoyment out of this club. Wonderful, really, because they're wonderful people at Williamstown. The friendships that I've made have gone on for many years, and it's an amazing thing that I had a call the other night from a chap in Caen, which is in France. I hadn't spoken to him for 50 years, and he just got muster one night, whether he was drinking the vino over there in Paris, he became nostalgic, and he wanted to hear a good old Locker Australian speaking, and we had a yarn for half an hour. And he assures me that when he comes to Australia next, he'll look me up. And they're the sort of things that you can't buy friendship. You've got to earn it, and you've got to earn respect. And that's what I always preached all my football life, that we respect one another, we respect the opposition, and make them respect us. And that's why we've been such a successful club.
Can you explain how you got your nickname, the Monster?
That's an amazing thing that I played down here, and being a big fellow, well, I was expected to play a pretty physical sort of a game. And at that time we had crew cuts. I'd had a few teeth knocked out through playing the game, so I got them all taken out. And I'd had 3 broken noses, and I had asthma, which used to trouble me quite a lot playing. So you had a fellow that had a crew cut, broken nose, no teeth, and frothed at the mouth. Well, I guess it was a pretty appropriate name at the time, and I ran pretty straight too, I can tell you.
You've joined us today as a guest speaker at our President's Luncheon with Port Melbourne player Frank Johnson. Can you share with our viewers at home a memory of playing against Port Melbourne?
Well, that was always the feature when I first came to Williamstown. I would say next week we are going out to play Coburg at Coburg. What do they like? I'd ask the senior players. And they'd say, don't worry about that, son, don't worry about that. We're playing Port on the 5th game. And every week when I'd ask about the opposition, go, look, don't worry about that. Wait till you get out to Port. And when I went out to Port, it was the best initiation or baptism that I could ever have. Because they belted us on the field. We got beaten, and they abused us off the field. So then I had the sort of hate relationship with them. And I didn't realise, because I think I'd been indoctrinised so much by the people here at Williamstown, that they were people, you know, from the wrong side of the street. And it wasn't until I played interstate football and played with some of them that I realised they were human beings. And you always knew when you played Port Melbourne, we played them in 54, 55 and 56. And they were favourites on every occasion, and we beat them. Port Melbourne never rolled over. And I think it was the most, people say to me, did you enjoy the wins, the victories, the grand finals? And I said, when I think about them, I feel exhausted. And that's the way it is. You have to give more than they gave, and that's why we were successful.
And can you share with us one of your favourite memories from the Williamstown Football Club?
I think my favourite memories, and I'm not being blasé about the 5 premierships that I played in, I think it was the comradeship that I made with the people here and the respect that I had for them. And I learned a lot, because I remember they had a saying down here, if we can't make a footballer out of him, we'll make a gentleman out of him. They taught me a lot about life, and I have a lot to be thankful for coming to this great club.
Thanks for that, Gerry. Appreciate it.
Absolute pleasure talking to you.